Hello, right, so I drained the oil last night. I ran the bike, oil change, TL1000 mine. So I ran the bike yesterday for 10 minutes, managed to get it started. It hadn't been started for a year, but it had been on an Optimate, and it went alright in the end. The first time it drained it a bit, but it should have been started, but it's fine now, it's running lovely. Just hadn't been started for a year. So I've drained the oil. Stupidly, I thought, I forget because I've got other bikes, a GX 750 and that. I thought you could, if you have a look, without removing the bottom fairing. Maybe this fairing's different. I don't know if you can see without me getting in the oil. But it, sort of the oil drained out, but ran down the fairing. Ran down the fairing and came out the front. So I've now got to take the lower fairing off to clean it out, which I should have done anyway. It's probably been a bit lazy. And it's also because I had it on the slidey rear paddock stand, bike's tipping forward, and didn't have it on the front. So if that had been the case, it might have drained properly. But so I'm going to do that, and then I've got the service kit, new filter, and found an O-ring or a copper washer. Always replace the copper washer on the sump plug. Alright, so yeah. So I shall take the bottom fairing off and then we'll carry on. Okay, so what have I done? So I put the oil pump nut bolt, wherever my head's gone. It's a 22mm, right? So that's done up with the new washer. Remember, I'm not a mechanic as such. I know a lot about bikes, but I'm not a mechanic, so the terminology might be wrong. But so oil filter's coming off now. What I do with the oil filter, so I've taken the bottom, as I should have done here. I was being a bit lazy last night, but while it was warm, I thought I'd drain the oil down, but it caught the, she's over there now being cleaned, look, I've degreased it. So it just caught the edge of the, you can see the oil coming out now of the filter. So I use a little paint tray, look, so for the filter, because if you've got the existing oil, you're working in it and everything, it's not worth it. So a bit of towel, and I always put a bit of dust, sawdust down, because you always get a bit of oil everywhere, and it's perfect for that. You don't want to ride off and get it on your back tyre, do you, really? So the sump plug drain, the oil plug sump plug, that's it, it's coming back to me. I'll read the manual in a minute. That's been taken off, drained the oil out overnight, warm oil, ran the bike for 10 minutes, let it cool a bit so it doesn't burn your hand, drain the oil using the thing I've already said, memory's gone, 22mm socket. Okay, new washer, alright, copper crush washer, whatever you call it, or, you know, anyway, I bought one anyway, I keep a few spare. Some people don't bother. I never used to when I was younger. I was a tearaway, never had any issues, but when you get older you do things properly, I don't know why. So the oil's coming out of the filter now, so I'm changing that. I've got a Posy Chrome one, and this oil's been in 2 years actually, because I've hardly ridden it, but you should do it every year, because obviously condensation builds up even in a garage. So motorbikes especially, cars can be on long servicing, can't they, 2-3 years, but bikes every year do the oil. You might as well do the filter while you're there, mightn't you? So I've used this now, that's what I was talking to you about. Right, see this, yeah, I love this. So that's for undoing the, instead of sticking a screwdriver in it or whatever, this works, this does it up and undoes it, but doing it up is only hand tight. People worry that it'll come loose, but it works on like a suction when you do it, so it's never, I used to worry and over tighten it, but you don't need to. A little bit of oil on the gasket, fresh oil, put it on, hand tight. To be fair, I do a little turn with this, but that's just me, but you shouldn't. Hand tight's supposed to be enough, they never come off, and that's true. But you know, anal. So anyway, so that goes on, and that does them up and undoes them. As long as you can get that in. Some of these you can't. I don't think you can on my Gixxer, so because it depends where the radiator is on that bit, but this one works. You can't get a socket in, but you can get your spanner, adjustable spanners on, and do it that way. So I love these, get some. I'll list them in the description. Right, torque wrench next. I'll torque the sump bolt up in a minute. I've got to get the old workshoppy manual out. So let's just do the filter, change your filter over now. So I'll put you there. I don't know if you can see. I think you can see a bit. Right. See, I just spilled a bit then. That's what happens. All over my glove is. Fuck's sake. Nightmare, isn't it? So I love this stuff. Right, let's turn you off a minute. So yeah, that's these all plug out. Right. Suzuki manual, I've had years, all going brown now. I haven't got it that oily. So we're looking at 23 Newton meters on the torque for the sump plug. So I wanted to get me glasses on, because these are always over tightened. So a torque wrench, this is a lovely one. Look after it. Always leave it undone. So there's no setting on the spring, because otherwise it damages it and they need calibrating. All right. So that's, people leave them and never use them as a socket or anything to undo. They're just for torquing up, not undoing. I don't buy them ever second hand. Just look after them. Don't smash them about. That's what I do. Keep it in its box. So 23. I need my glasses. Oh no. Right, what starts at 20? It starts at 23. Look. So that's not good really, but I've got a smaller one, but 23 is all right. So that's 23 there. 23. Yeah, Newton meters. Lock it in. Always lock it in, because hold it there. Lock that in, then it won't move, because you easy do, when you torque it up, it will move. So it's locked in on 23 Newton meters. Okay, so socket on, and here we go. And you do it nice and slow till it clicks. Oh, again, when I was a rebel, when I was 17, I didn't believe in torque settings. Just did it up tight, and I got myself into loads of mischief, breaking things. Right, that's done. That was right. I tightened that, but that's done. 23. So then undo that. Okay, and then back this back off now, all the way, so it's loose. Look, and it'll last you forever. Take the socket off. That stays in a little box. It's a precision instrument. All right. So, bang! I just dropped it. Not really. Right. That's that. We know we're torqued up. So let's get some clean rag just to clean around the where the new filter's going. I've let that drain a bit. I'm trying not to get so I'm cleaning, I don't know if you can see, I'm cleaning the mating surface of where the filter goes in. All right. Ooh. Without getting towel in there, you got to be careful. Alright, so then what I do is have a little wipe around, so that once you run it, you can see, because sometimes if you don't clean this off, you have a panic attack and think it's leaking oil, but it's where the old oil dripped across or something like that. So I have a good wipe round so I know it's all dry, like that. Right, so next thing, filter. Wash filter, I don't know where I got that from. smeared a bit of clean oil on it. That lets you, when you do it up hand tight, that's what allows you to do it up hand tight, because that oil on there helps it seal and helps it slide so it torques up correctly at hand. If that makes sort of sense. Be careful not to cross thread it. These are, you'll always damage the oil filter, not the actual outlet on the bike, hopefully. But just take your time and put it on. If you feel any resistance, it's cross threaded. That's happened to me many years. And then oh, I've got that hand tight now, so I can take this away. Oh, you're not even looking. It's like my missus, she's not interested, she never looks. Right, that's hand tight, that's all it needs, and I'm confident. Right, great stuff. Right, fill with oil. Right, this bike, again I'll link this, I bought this from Amazon, it's called Constands. Right, lovely this piece of kit. It's about 100 quid, I think. I'll link it in the description. As I say, I make a little bit of money from when you buy, but Amazon don't charge you anymore. It just covers, I mean, to film and edit this takes 3 or 4 hours, so it helps just to go towards me making these videos, because yeah, it's time consuming, but I like it. It's quite good helping people. You know, sometimes you can't find the stuff, so I'll show you how to do the brakes later. And again, I'm not a mechanic. People might pipe in and say that ain't right, but I know enough over 35 years, 17, 47, 37 years of riding bikes and messing about with them. So I think I know enough to do, this is basic stuff, isn't it? Oil, brake fluids, but stuff you've got to be very careful with and give the right advice. Okay, so if you don't totally understand something I say, question it in the comments, etc. So, my nice little engine cover. So I undid this anyway yesterday, loose, just to help the oil come out, I think. So the oil's going to go in there. So carefully, and don't put it on there or on there, because it always falls off and gets dirt on. Place it somewhere safe on the side. Okay. Right. So that's ready to go. So I've got a funnel now. The trouble is, this time round, environmental shit. Oh, swearing. Censor that, I'll edit you out later. Good degrease to that. Got this suit, right, the oil I use is super semi-synthetic. Do not use fully synthetic on a TL. I did it years ago. I've had these bikes all my life since I was 17, 18. So I've had 4 TLs, I've written 2 off. One was nicked, I think, and one was flooded. Yeah, had a flood at my house, another story. Semi-synthetic, always semi. That's all it needs. It's an old bike. You only need fully on the new, like, BMW 1000 RRs, all that kind of stuff. I think even the Gixxer runs on semi. So semi-synthetic, don't need top oil. You think you're doing it better, but you're doing it worse. The clutch will slip like fuck, and TLs have a problem with the clutch. I've got little copper washers on my clutch, which makes it perfect. So that's what I use just for oil. I put some rags around, because it could fall out, and you know, then it goes all down inside the crankcase, outside, drips down, you think you've got an oil leak. So can you see that? And then I'm using this environmentally friendly one, which is just like that. So I'll fill it right to the top mark. If you look, I've got my head torch on, so you can see, right, there's the little line, look, see that? Right there. I'll fill it right to the top, because when you start it, the oil filter takes some back. So let that drip down for a bit. That's right on the limit. So let's leave that for now, and then we'll start her up, fire the beast up, and then might have to add a bit more. Right, and another thing, always I forgot to put this on once and it was coming out. Clean that off, look. Some bolt, make sure it's all clean, there's no dirt on the threads. This is a modded one. I like this. Right, we'll have a tidy up and we'll fire her up. So methodically, oil filters in, done up. Definitely oil in the bike. That's the thing. People have serviced bikes for forgot to put the oil in and blown them up. I've nearly got close. Methodical, tidy up. No oil on the floor now. Just a bit of sawdust where I've messed up. I ain't done a bike service for a while, so you lose a bit of. So now I'm going to fire the beast up and we'll run it and see if the oil level. It normally drops perfectly now. She'll fire the second go. I've had this girl over 10 years. So checking for oil leaks immediately now in case something pisses out. Checking around the oil filter. Make sure nothing's coming out there. Around the sump plug, nice and clean look. Right, and you do sometimes get a bit of oil venting off on the exhaust, but that's normal, so people panic and think it's on fire. So I'll stop it now. So right, we'll let the oil settle for a bit now and we'll check it again, and that's it done. That's a TL oil service for you. Well done. So I hope you like my video. When you check the oil, so start it up, get it warm, turn it off, and then let it sit for about 5 minutes, then check it. That's when you want to do it. Links are in the video, in the description for my Amazon shop where you can purchase the items I showed below. Please like, comment, subscribe, let me know your thoughts, and I'll be posting more maintenance and adventures on my TL1001R. Thank you.